Everyone get out!
Hello tankers and tankettes. Time for something a little bit special today. This is one of my older replays, and you may imagine that I got my Ace Mastery badge whilst playing the ELC with Circon, but actually I got it a while before that, and I've been playing the ELC for a while. So this is a replay from 0.82, and I'm doing this through the World of Tanks Replay Companion. So that means I've just got Jimbo's Crosshair going. I don't have any other mods enabled for this. And yeah, this is probably outside of the matches I've done with Circon on the stream, probably one of the most fun and most interesting ELC matches I've had, and probably the one where I got away with the most as well. Now, I haven't watched this for a while, so it will be interesting to see quite what I managed to pull off and quite what antics I got up to. Now, we're on Karelia. This is actually a pretty decent map for scouts if you're in the right kind of a scout. And I tend to play my ELC when I play it solo in kind of an active scout role, but it's hard to go too far because obviously the radio range sucks. It's easier on a small map, but it's not that much use for a scout on a small map. However, I basically hang around for a little bit, and then I decide I'm just going to go right up the middle and go for their artillery, or at least try and spot their artillery. And this is risky because I've got such a terrible radio range, and it's also risky because quite frequently you'll have one or more tanks will sit and camp and just wait. Very fortunately for me, in this particular match, this hell of a risk paid off. I've lit up one artillery there already. There is no enemy tanks defending this. There's basically only their artillery, and I'm thinking I might be able to get some juicy kills here. So, bam! Here we go, there's two arties, one fired and missed. That guy did a little bit of damage, and our arty took one down, so our arty was paying attention in this one quite nicely. I've just taken down the other one, so I've immediately deprived their team of artillery. And yeah, like I said, that was a hell of a risk to take, but boy did it pay off. And the whole match is like this, basically. I just keep doing ridiculous, outrageous things, and somehow it works. And that's why I love the ELC, because it just is an outrageous little tank when you can get away with it. Now that's their ELC coming back. I'm basically just going yeah, and driving around in circles in the cap. See if I can draw off some of the enemy and just be a distraction. And whoa! Hello, boys! The Egg Panther and a T-34, and I'm just getting the hell out of there now. Although I still had time for a cheeky shot on that T-34. And that, again, outrageous luck. But it was worth it. You know, it drew off two of their units to come back to their cap. It caused distraction, and that's what a good light tank should be doing, as well as, you know, scouting and damage and spotting damage. You should be trying to cause distraction. Now, I'm beating a hasty retreat at this point. It's a little bit too hot around their cap now, and I can't sort of go up against their big boys head to head because, you know, this tier 8 match, and it's still not bad matchmaking for an ELC. ELC gets into a tier 8 match, that's actually fairly nice matchmaking. So I decide to go and support these two heavies here because they're not really moving up, and I pulled two enemies back, but there's also other enemies on this flank. So again, I'm just feeling particularly ballsy this day. Clearly, I go for a bit of distraction. I just check this guy's not looking at me. He's not. He's dancing with those two. I miss a shot. Somebody misses a shot at me rather. So I get the hell out of there once again. And yeah, with actually two tigers behind there, so either one of those could have severely ruined my day if he'd hit me. And I think I was a bit indecisive at this point. Like I said, this was 0.82. This was a while ago, or at least it feels like a while ago. You know, still earlier this year, or was it even last year? Might have been last year actually. Yeah, going back just to see, just on the off chance their ELC might try the same thing I did, because they've got an ELC as well, who was low health, but yeah, don't see anything. So, it worked the first time so well, let's try it again. And if you thought the first time was ridiculous, this time's going to be even more ridiculous. So just zooming up the middle, dodging a bit, weaving. I probably should have been weaving more than I was actually. I was going in a fairly straight line, and that's not good practice in a scout. Bear in mind, I didn't quite know what I was doing with light tanks at this point. The ELC was the first one that actually got me into light tanks and scout tanks. Before that point, I hadn't a clue. When I was doing, like, for instance, the PZ38NA, I was hopeless in that. Great for it, you know, if you get same tier or even tier 5 matchmaking, you could do something. But when you had scout matchmaking, I was just pants. And hello! It's more enemies, and low health 30, you say? And someone else missed a shot at me. And I'm just sitting behind them, just, you know, la 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 la. Yep, ram into a tree. I'm doing all the wrong things you shouldn't do in a scout here. And I know there's stuff behind me, and there's another missed shot. See, I just get away with murder. Literally, well, not murder, but you know what I mean. Killing the enemy team. I just got away with so much in this match. It was ridiculous. And it's 8-5, you know. I think we're doing quite well. I've obviously, my antics have helped in some way, and that's, you know, what you should be aiming for in a light tank. When you get scout matchmaking, you should be trying to cause disruption as much as anything, and that can have an effect. You're not necessarily going to be doing lots of direct fire damage, but if you can provide the intelligence to your team, and you can also be a disruption to the enemy team, then you've done your job well. So I'm desperately racing back to get this enemy ELC, because I've seen he's going to make a go for our artillery. Basically like I did for their artillery. But actually, our guerrilla just goes TD mode and goes, nope, denied. And I don't have anything to do over here now, so where do I go next? Do you know? I can't even remember. There's only 4 enemy tanks left at this point. And the northern flank is looking, it's 1 versus 1. That T-34 is quite low health, so I think, yeah, I seem to be heading over that way to try and help this guy out. But that's a full health Tiger P. He's just killed that T-34, so nope. Not going to do that on my own. That's, but, you know, I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy, apparently. So again, back up the middle for a 3rd time. And I'm trying to get to their cap and just shoot people in the back, cause some disruption. There's a low health ARL over there, but he's just been shot, killed even. And there's that T-34, he's come back to cap to, well, ish. Come back-ish to defend. So I'm going to avoid him, because he could end my improbable ride very, very prematurely. But I know I can still be some help to the guys that are pressing up here. They're all low health, and unfortunately the T-34's full health, so if I can even just distract this guy whilst they shoot him, you know, if I take one for the team, as it were, that will be worthwhile, even if I die in the process, because a full health T-34 is a significant threat. So he's taken a shot, and I know what I can do to get his attention. I go and sit in the cap, because there's nothing that's going to cause tanks to make a beeline for you quite so much as being in a cap in a light tank. So my plan here is be in the cap, pull heat away from ours, and look, it's working. Even though he's got 3 enemies to shoot at, look what he's doing. He's going to come back for me, for little old me. I don't know if it's just he has visions of somehow being able to save the match, or if he feels it'll be safer terrain up here anyway. But yeah, he heads back, so I run away once again. And yeah, the ELC's good for that. It's a nippy little bugger. So I come up, and can I get a shot? No, I'm not gonna risk it. He's got good enough gun depression that he could shoot me there. So I'm gonna not try head to head, because that's not gonna work. I mean, you know, there's like some good defense going on at our cap. Somebody's gone back, so I'll just try and get a shot off of this guy. Bam, into the ground, goes low. He's looking this way. Ooh, shoots the rock. Fortunately, not me. Like I said in a previous video, the T-25, mobility isn't the best defense. Well, I said buildings are the best defense, but rocks make a pretty good armor as well. So we've got several versus one, and this is a very good opportunity to basically pop up, do some damage, distract him while our team tries to do the same thing. Slightly hindered by the fact that the ELC does have a long reload time, and I was at this point, I was not using a gun rammer. In fact, I still don't use a gun rammer, but I wasn't even using a gun lane drive. So I've got the full aim time and the full reload time of this to contend with. And like I say, at the time I was playing it much more as an aggressive sort of frontline scout. But these days, well, if you've seen any of the ELC videos with Circle, you'll know how we play it these days. And this is a pretty improbable one, and I get greedy there. I think I'll do a bit more damage, and too late I notice he's looking my way. But the turret was looking my way, it wasn't looking at my friendlies, and they kill him, and that's it. Game 1. And yeah, I actually get the best score of the whole team on this match, and like I said, it was my ace tanker badge, so I came out of that one feeling pretty chuffed, and it's one of the few replays I saved from before I started doing this whole YouTube malarkey. Pretty much that reason, just because it was such a fun match. And I knew at the time I didn't have any way of recording it. I actually, you may have noticed I've got a playlist up where it's videos that are uploaded from other places, or videos where I get mentioned. This is actually one of those, but there's no commentary or anything. And I knew I couldn't do anything with it in that state, but now I've got the WoT Replay Companion installed. I can actually look at older replays like this, and this seemed like a good one to share with you guys, because I realised, if you know from the stream, you'll know of the ELC antics we get up to sometimes, and it's not something I've got a replay of up already. This seemed like a good one to start with. So if you enjoyed this video, you can like, you can leave a comment, you can even subscribe. I have a Facebook page where you can check out my latest news, uploads, photos I've posted, that sort of thing. And of course, stay tuned for more.